The superhero shows back in the day were either headlined by a guy or it's a group led by a guy. So it was kind of normal for me. I didn't see anything wrong with that. But then here comes Sailor Moon on ABC5 back in the day. You know, this klutzy 16-year-old student who all of a sudden is tasked to save the world, and she actually does it, albeit, she's a bit clumsy and all that. It totally blew my mind when I was young na parang, oh my gosh, parang ako lang siya. So, kung kaya niya, kaya ko rin. Hi, I'm Charlene Owen. I'm 36 years old. I'm an editor, and I am a fan of so many things. I'm a fan of Sailor Moon. I'm a fan of Gundam Wing, of Final Fantasy 15 and the entire Final Fantasy series. And I'm a fan of The Legend of Zelda, and there's just too many to count. The fandoms I'm probably most active in currently would be Sailor Moon. I'm in Facebook groups of local and international fans, Gundam or Gunpla groups, but more of I lurk in them because I do mobile kits of Gundam Wing specifically. And I'm active in an international Final Fantasy 15 group because I need people with whom I can share my feelings with regarding the storyline of the game. I started becoming a fan of Sailor Moon back when it started, the 90s, so 1992, 1993. All of the TV shows, the superhero shows back in the day were either headlined by a guy or it's a group led by a guy. So it was kind of normal for me. I didn't see anything wrong with that. But then here comes Sailor Moon on ABC5 back in the day. You know, this klutzy 16-year-old student who all of a sudden is tasked to save the world, and she actually does it, albeit, she's a bit clumsy and all that. It totally blew my mind when I was young na parang, oh my gosh, parang ako lang siya. So, kung kaya niya, kaya ko rin. Ganun yung feeling ko about Sailor Moon. And up until now, honestly, ganun yung feeling ko about Sailor Moon. Gundam Wing, specifically Gundam Wing, I only appreciated the story when I was a bit older because it's a darker sort of story. It talks about how humanity can't really escape the endless waltz of war, peace, and revolution. So yeah, dark stuff like that. Final Fantasy 15, you have to play the game for me to explain why I have so many feelings about it. I don't really have a lot of merch compared to, other people who are really into collecting merch of their fandoms. But I have, the usual, like figurines. This is a figurine of Sailor Moon. For Gundam, this is my first, my first Gunpla, which I mean, this is a DIY stand because I didn't have money to buy a stand back when I started this hobby. Probably some of the oldest merch that I have would be Sailor Moon merch. Like this. This is like 20 years old or more probably. Yeah, I would collect the cards and everything. I had foils. I even had like photocopy and print out some of the cards back in the day. But probably one of my most prized merch would be this Sailor Moon locket. It's the star locket from the anime, which Mamoru gives Usagi. So in the manga, this was a pocket watch, but they translated it to a musical locket, the anime, and it remains to be one of the most iconic items in the series. So I would go to gamecons. There are a lot of gamecons actually prior to COVID here locally. So I would get to try out like new games or, get to play old games again and just be with the community, see the new merch, see the new technology, see what's coming out next season. Probably the best thing about it is that it feels that you're among your people. And it's great to know that communities are thriving, hobby communities are thriving. And there's a lot of people who also like what you like. So, that feeling of community and being a part of something bigger than who you are is always a great experience. It wasn't as easy to be a fan of manga and anime and games back in the 90s as it is now. Kasi nung araw, hindi pa lahat ng tao may internet eh. So, feeling mo mag-isa ka lang, you don't have access to groups kung meron man, and then bihibihira yung may mga groups for these interests. And back then, liking manga or anime or games wasn't cool. and I was bullied for that, and I was ostracized for that, and it wasn't a fun experience. But the thing is, now fans are so lucky to always be connected. Specifically, the Sailor Moon groups, they're very supportive of its members because Sailor Moon stands for acceptance. It's, love among friends. It doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, who you love. It's just all about, belonging. You belong. You have a tribe. You have a tribe in this group. And that's what's great about it. That's what's great about these fandoms. You find a place that you can call home, and you won't be judged, and you'll just be accepted, and all of you can just have fun. I'm always a fan of a good story. I'm always a fan of good messages. So honestly, it doesn't really matter what the medium is. It could be a manga, it could be a graphic novel, a comic book, a TV series, an anime, a game. As long as, the story resonates with me, then I'm immediately a fan of it, even if I don't have all the merch. And I guess that's what's great about fandoms. You find something you love, you find something that you're interested in, and other people who are also interested in them, and you form bonds and friendships and communities. And I think that's very beautiful, especially now since, people are feeling isolated. To have a group like that, it could be, anime, or it could be BTS. It doesn't really matter. As long as you find people to call your own, that's probably the reason why I'm still into these fandoms. It's more than these stories, though I love these stories, it's the people that you share them with.